Okay, I don't care what The Rock says. If you're in a movie theater, I don't want to hear you singing, okay? I am coming to see a movie, not listen to your pitchy vocal cords make my ears bleed. Honestly, it's kind of shocking it took this long to make a sequel to Moana. Almost as shocking as it is that we're only 2 years away from a remake. Now granted, this was supposed to be a TV show, believe it or not, but it eventually got reworked through a bunch of development hell because it was supposed to be an original series on Disney Plus years ago, back in like 2020, I want to say, at their Disney Investor Day thing. They announced that this was supposed to be a show, and then over time it just never happened and got reworked into a movie, and here we are now. And now, before going to see this in the theater, I did happen to rewatch the original Moana, which I hadn't seen since like 2016 when it first released. And yeah, I think Moana, the original, still holds up pretty well. Incredible animation and music and all that, and I think it's still a decent Disney movie. And I gotta say, with all that fresh in my mind going into this one and seeing everything that they brought forward, it seemed really familiar in a way. I mean, this wasn't a familiar in the same way that Gladiator 2 was, where it's basically just kind of retreading the same plot as the original, or as most legacy sequels do. But in a lot of ways, there were certain elements here and there that was just like, yeah, kind of already seen this, what else you got? Just certain elements are echoed and carried over from the first one. But again, the animation in this film is breathtaking, so much vibrant color on screen, incredible animation on the water, the animals, the textures, the everything. It just looks beautiful. The music is also really great. The original songs for it, as well as the score, really complement this visually and auditorially. I don't know, is that a word? And even though I think the music from the first film is still better, I still agree that the music in this movie is really fun and the songs are catchy. I dug the voice cast. I think they were all pretty serviceable to the roles. Nothing Oscar worthy or mind blowing, but you know, they were decent. And thankfully, The Rock wasn't completely overtaking this one like he does with literally everything else. Now, granted, he's an cartoon character and under the supervision of Disney, so he's not like going hog wild like he is in Red 1, for example. But, you know, it's just nice that he can be in something, not suck, and not overtake it because his ego is just that big. As far as being a movie, there's enough to enjoy on the surface, and it's a quick watch, so not a huge time commitment. But yeah, the plot is just kind of junk. I mean, for the first however long of the film, it felt like maybe the first 10-15 minutes, it's just pure exposition. Like everything is just being handed to you on a silver platter via dialogue or some other grandiose exposition dump machine. And then past that point, the whole plot basically kind of just checkpoints video game style, where we're doing something with the crazy midget guys and fighting off some clam. And then we're moving on to something with the Bat Lady and reconvening with Maui. And then you got the third act showdown and all that. And it's just kind of like, obviously this started out as a show, and you can still tell that the skeleton of that episodic structure is very much present in the final product of this movie. The main villain, I don't even remember his name, honestly. They say it a couple of times, but the problem is he's never present on screen. They just talk about him a lot, and so there's a lot of telling, not showing, and you don't really get a whole satisfying reveal of him in the third act, really, either. He's just kind of like this giant storm cloud with lightning and tornadoes and whatever. And it honestly reminded me a lot of Galactus from Fantastic Four, The Rise of the Silver Surfer, where he's just this giant cloud that swallows planets, and you don't really get a whole lot to him other than that. That's basically the main villain of this movie too. Honestly, this film isn't all that complex or worth breaking down on a molecular level, so I think I'm just going to leave it at that. It's a decent movie for kids. It's definitely geared toward children. That's not to say that adults can't enjoy this too, or families wouldn't have fun going out and watching it. I'm sure they would. We were in a packed theater. I went with my mom and my brother, and yeah, like the whole theater was basically packed. People clapped at the end. They were laughing at the jokes. This is a crowd pleaser, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a sequel that could have easily come out 2 years after the original and probably made just as much money. I anticipate this movie's going to make a ton of money at the box office because the first one did great numbers and is currently like one of the top streaming movies of all time right now, if I'm not mistaken. And so this is probably going to, only improve financially as it goes along. and I wouldn't be surprised if they greenlit a third. I mean, they already greenlit a freaking remake, so who's to know what is going to happen next for the Moana franchise. But for now, if I'm going to give this a score, I guess I could give it a 6. It's not that bad. It's not that great. It's just kind of in the middle. It's watchable, enjoyable, fun, and that's really all it is. But I want to know from you, did you think the Moana 2 was good? Did you like it better than the original? Have you not seen either movie and you're willing to check them out because you heard all the buzz around this one? I would love to hear what you have to say down in the comments below. But if you're going to disagree with people or with me or others, just please be respectful about it. It's just a movie after all, not the most important thing in the world. And, while you're here, you could, just give me a like. Just hit that like button. It goes a long way. And subscribe if you want to. I mean, that's free. You can do both of those for free. Matter of fact, you know what else you can do for free? You can go down to the description. You can click on all 4 of my links on my other social media platforms. I'm on Instagram, Letterboxd, Serialized, and Gigi, where I post movie reviews, TV show reviews, and video game reviews. And not all those reviews make it onto this channel. So if you don't want to wait around for me to edit a video every single time you want to know my thoughts on a movie, TV show, or video game, then I highly suggest giving me a follow on all those platforms at no additional cost. But until next time, guys, God be with you, and take care.